Hello and Assalamualaikum. So I want to teach you how to use the cover-up rule, which is the one that I have no time to teach you previously in my online lecture. So it is related to inverse Laplace transform. So we want to simplify, for example, this fraction into a smaller partial fraction, which is, if you look closely, the denominator is actually related to the original equation right here. So x minus 1 is separated into this fraction, x plus 2 is separated into this partial fraction. Okay. So right now, what we need to do is we need to find a and b, because we want to know what is the partial fraction. So we need to find this a and b. A and b is not a value. Sometimes it can be a value, sometimes it can be a function. So make sure that you need to understand these steps. So whenever you find this type of equation, actually I want to teach you three type of equation. So when you find this type of equation where the biggest power of x is 1, so it's a linear equation. So you can just simply separate it like this, where a and b is the function that we need to find, and x minus 1 and x plus 2. So that is the how we separate it. Okay. So how to find a and b? First, we multiply a with the b denominator, and we multiply b with a denominator. Okay. So we will get this equation. Okay. And when we compare this equation and this equation, you can see that the denominator is similar, so we can cancel it, and we can compare 3x with this equation. Okay. Alright. So we go to this equation, so we compare it, and then we can arrange so that x is the first component and non-x is the second component. So we compare x component first, because at the left hand side we have 3x. So 3x is equal to a plus b x. Okay. So this one. So from there we can get this equation. A is equal to 3 minus b. Alright. And for non-x right here, there is at the left hand side there is no non-x or constant. Therefore we just equal it with 0. So when 0 is equal to 2a plus b, so that is the function that we need to solve. So we know a is equal to 3 minus b, so we substitute right here, and we can get that b is equal to 2. And when we put 2 inside here, we get a is equal to 1. Okay. So from there we have solved the how to separate into smaller partial fractions. So a and b is solved. So this is the solution that we want to find. Okay. So that is the first type of equation. Now we go to the second type of equation. Right now you can see the difference is there is one bracket with power outside the bracket. So we just consider power of 2. So what happened if high power, you can learn it if you can go to the page 116 and so on to find what happened if the power is bigger. But I will teach you only for power 2. So when we have power of 2 and we have another bracket right here, so what will happen is the another bracket we make a partial fraction. The power of 2 we make a partial fraction, but we add another one which is without power, the x minus 1 itself without power. So we make another partial fraction. Okay. So after that we need to find a, b, c. Now we have three constant. We need to solve it. Okay. how to solve it? Similar method. We multiply with this one and this one. So I make a different color. And B multiply with this one only, so that we can have a similar. No, sorry. B multiply with this one. Okay. And C multiply with this one. I think A is multiplied with another of this one. Not this one. Sorry. Alright. So hopefully you get that. So that the denominator will be the same with this one. Okay. So when we multiply and we cancel the denominator, we can compare this left hand side and right hand side. Okay. And same way, we find non-x, the constant, we find the x, and also we have x square. So we compare, and then we can see that the left hand side we have x component, and we can see the constant 1 right here, and we compare with the constant at the right hand side. And for x square, we don't see any x square at the left hand side. No x square. So we just, when there is x square at the right hand side, we compare, it is similar to 0. Okay. Not x square is equal to 0, but the function of x square is equal to 0. Okay. Hopefully you get that. And afterward, when you compare everything, you can find the function or the value of A, B, C. Okay. So if you want to find the solution for this equation, you can go to the page 116. It's not exactly 116, but maybe 117, 118. It's over there. So you can go there to find the solution for this exact equation. But what I want to tell you is it will be separated into 3 fractions like this. Okay. So hopefully you understand. Now we go to the third type. So for the third type, you can see that we have 2 brackets. This is the common one, but the first bracket is different because we have quadratic equation. So what happens when we have quadratic equation? Actually, if we can factorize and we can simplify into 2 brackets, it is better. So we can just use this formula. But if there is if the quadratic equation is cannot be simplified, we can use this formula, where the bottom, the first denominator is the first bracket, and the second denominator is the second bracket. But the difference is the top, the numerator is ax plus b for the quadratic denominator, and c for the linear denominator. Okay, so we have x right here, and so that is this is the formula that you need to understand and remember. And what's next is we just multiply this one with this one and this one with this one to get the, so that the denominator is the same with this one. Okay, and afterward we eliminate the denominator and we compare 5x with the answer, with the one that we have multiplied. So ax plus b multiplied with x minus 2, we get this one. Okay, and C multiply with x squared plus x plus 1, we get this one. Okay, and you can solve that. Okay, when there is a x square function, we compare with 0. When there is x function, we compare with 5x. When constant, we compare with 0 as well. Okay. Alright, so I think that's all that I want to teach you. Hopefully you understand this method, the cover-up rule. So thank you very much for listening. Hopefully you can grab this tool, this method. Thank you very much, and Assalamualaikum. Have a good day.